show. Always Irish show. Always Irish show. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. What are you doing? Don't do this to me, Harry! The Ohio State. It's Ohio State! What do you mean, the? It's a poison! I almost stroked out and died over it. I'm glad to be at the party. I'm mad we're this late. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship! That helps the defense without them even doing a damn thing! Doing a damn thing! The call-in line. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Oh, Irish. Irish. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, everybody. I don't know what else to say other than this week's heating up. This is a big one. And so far, I've been doing a good job of doing my work and kind of keeping my mind about me. I've had a lot to do content-wise and joining other people and interviewing everybody. And I've been able to keep it under control and be contained and not be too emotional about it. I don't know how much longer that's going to happen, you guys. Just every hour, I feel it burning up inside me more and more every hour. It's just, this is special. Weeks like this don't come along often. Opportunities like this for Notre Dame don't come along often. This is rare. This is important. This could be a special weekend for Notre Dame, but only if they take care of business and win this game. Let's get into it. I got a bunch of calls. I want to get through the chats, go through a couple things. I'm going to give you guys the phones, all right? So let's get into this Notre Dame, Ohio State game week edition of the Always Irish morning show. Am I having a tailgate? No, I'm not. There is no physical way I would be able to have a tailgate for the Ohio State game. Like last week was a game. This is a war. Those are different. Last week, John's in a good mood. Let's drink beers in the parking lot. You know, I'm wearing my chain around that Mark with glasses gave me, by the way. Going to be our good luck charm this week. Appreciate this, Mark. I love it. All of that. You know, it's Central Michigan. Yeah, let's drink some pops in the parking lot, laugh about it. That ain't going to happen this week. There's zero chance I would be able to sit there in the parking lot laughing and taking pictures. This ain't the week for that. That was a game. This is a war. This is a battle with more on the line for Notre Dame than just did you win or lose one game. This is a big damn week. No way I could do a tailgate for this. Not the week. Not in the mood. This is different. Thank you for being here, everybody. Obviously, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Johnny Boy out as well. Notifications on that way you alerted every time a new episode drops. I know you don't want to miss it. Twitter. Search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. The emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. The call-in lines. Looks like you know the number. 312-988-15. You tell Johnny Boy all you've heard and seen. Instagram, Facebook, all them places. Always Irish Inc. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Read all about it. Okay, folks, read all about it. We got articles out the wazoo. I was up late last night, typing in a couple new ones. Go read all about it. Here's the first thing we're going to do. The first thing we're going to do is congratulate Notre Dame on a good recruiting week. We didn't even get to the game yet. And you got another quarterback here, and everybody seems to like his potential. There's questions about what the offense would look like with him and all that. Either way, that's a good get, man. That quarterback, it's so important. It's the thing Kelly never figured out. And this staff makes it a priority every year. And you notice the damn difference. The Gaduli factor. I don't know. But whatever they're doing, I like a lot more in that quarterback room than whatever Swamp Thing and Boy Wonder Genius was cooking up. So give me this 100 times out of 100, whatever they're doing over whatever Kelly was doing, the quarterback guru. So these guys are lining up quarterbacks. Great job, Gerby. He's going to block you into the Kirby, all right? Give me that. And then maybe, depending on where you're looking, maybe some other surprises to come throughout the rest of the week. So everything's trending up for Notre Dame. Everything's trending up. You got the good recruiting news, good vibes, we're undefeated, we're at home, everybody's going to wear green. Win the game! Win the game! I'm not exaggerating. To me, this is the biggest home game environment there's been since Bush pushed at Notre Dame Stadium. Even 2012 never felt like that. And I was in the building for all those home games. Michigan, the goal line stand, Stanford, all that. They were big moments. It ain't going to be like this. It isn't going to have this feel and this build-up. It's just different this time. It's just different this time. Maybe because it's Ohio State. I don't know. But this, to me, is going to be the build-up that's closest to that one in Bush. I've been chasing that high ever since that day. And the high ended up in a low. But I've been chasing that buzz on this campus ever since 2005 to feel like football mattered and we were going to do something about it for once. Very good point by Eric. Even with the buildup of Bush, Notre Dame already had a loss. Sometimes people do forget that. Notre Dame did have a loss. This one, you're undefeated. You can truly convince yourself anything's freaking possible. Huge week for Notre Dame. Big chance to change these national narratives. Oh, big game, Notre Dame, 25 years. They fail in the big stage every time, usually by 30 points. Yeah, I get it. This Notre Dame team's built differently, and if that doesn't make this game give Notre Dame a better chance to win it, I don't know how that could be possible. All right, this is a different vibe. All right, and I'm not saying, oh, Sam Hartman's here, guarantees a win. I'm not an idiot. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that guy's mere presence on this team makes it more likely Notre Dame could win a game like this than any time in the last 20 years. It's such a joke to have to get on here and say that. Oh, at least we have a quarterback who can do basic quarterback things and have it be a modern luxury, but here we are. This is going to be a long rest of the week, you guys. Let's see a couple chats. $5 olive from Paul. Captain John, great start to the Iowa State matchup. Elite O-lineman, Gerby commits, and Elite Deuce Knight commits. Nice meeting you at the tailgate. Paul, it was wonderful meeting you too. We had a great time, great crowd. Everybody was nice. Everybody got to meet everybody's screen name. It was beautiful. Oh, man. All right, let's take a look at a couple of these chats. I'm going to try and get caught up, and then I'm going to give it to the phones. I want to, you know the topic. Just tell me where you're at. You want to break down keys to the game. You want to break down how big you think this could be for Notre Dame if they pull it off. You want to tell me Ohio State has too much talent and all of their fans are right. This isn't going to be close. Wherever you want to bring it, we could bring it. Okay. Obviously, Domer guy. Paint the house to Rockville Greed on September 23rd. No red takeovers. I saw, this is going to piss people off. I saw on Twitter, people are selling the fancy seats, the gold seat backs or the blue, whatever they are, the ones that are, the first few rows behind the bench. Those are all Notre Dame in-house, and they're going up for resale. So that's a Notre Dame person, a Notre Dame donor, somebody that swings a big stick. And they're putting their tickets in like the third row up for sale right behind the bench. So I don't know what to tell you guys, but our own people, the big cigar smokers, are selling their tickets down there in those rows. I don't know how much red there's going to be. I don't know. Matt Miller. Callers, hang in there. We're going to get to you. We're going to move fast. Give everybody a shot. I love how all the ND-haters are edging their bets this weekend by saying Ohio State's overrated. They're going to be exposed. The narrative always moves on us. Matt, this used to bother me where Notre Dame, Notre Dame's going to lose. Notre Dame's going to lose. Notre Dame wins, and then suddenly it turns into, oh, that other team isn't that good or whatever. Normally, that bothers me a lot. I'm not letting that enter my equation this week. I don't give a shit. I don't give a straight shit what anybody's going to say, what anybody's going to think. There's nothing anybody's going to do that's going to make me feel less good if we win this game. I do not care. I do not care. Tell yourself Ohio State's falling off. Fire Ryan Day. I don't care what it is. Win the game. Win the game. Anything said negative about Notre Dame, if they win this, it's just coping, and I don't care. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care the score. I don't care how you have to get there. Be better than them by 1 point on one night, damn it. There are narratives to change here. That Notre Dame big game thing. This is a prime opportunity to change that narrative that's been accurate, by the way, all of my adult life. Get it done. Pat, good morning, John. Always Irish family. Quickly approaching Saturday night. We'll see if Indy can start changing the narrative that's surrounded the team since 94. A win is a step closer to ending the meme. That's what I'm telling you. I don't want to be that guy who's like, this one game is bigger than all the biggest thing ever. I'm sorry, man. This is an opportunity that doesn't come along for Notre Dame a lot, and they are more well-positioned to take advantage of it this time than they've ever been entering any of these matchups the last, 20 years. I've been saying it for weeks. You always enter these games going, oh, on the downside, quarterback, right away, we're at a disadvantage. I am used to marking that against us before we enter any of these environments. I'm not doing that this week. That changes the equation. That changes the equation, or at least it should. And if it doesn't, then we're going to have some different discussions after this game. But it should change the narrative. Sam Hartman came to Notre Dame with this week's circle. I got news for you. He didn't roll into town thinking, where am I going to play my last year? Oh, yeah, I got to beat Tennessee State. I like that one. No. This is why this guy's here. Do something with it. Patrick Cotter, he's going to be at the game. He always weasels out some big game tickets. Pat's going to be at the game. He's wheeling and dealing. He's got a brother, a big shot in the Union, pulling their Chicago Union connections. Pat will be at the game. Another big commitment, always Irish. What, did I get the commitment or did I commit? First victory over OSU. Hey, I'm talking about two commitments with Gerby and Deuce. C. Jones. Morning, John. We inch close to that big national stage we've all been waiting for. Yeah, I just hope we're happy with what we see once we get on it. Oh, man. Mikey Poles, my security guard, also got engaged at Notre Dame last weekend. I believe it was the day before the tailgate, and got engaged on campus there and then celebrated it with the Always Irish family. What a great weekend. Good morning, John. Marcus is cooking. We win this weekend. The program will be at high. We haven't seen in a long time. Now you're getting into one of Johnny's articles he wrote for USA Today, Mikey. You're in my brain, and that makes me concerned for your well-being and your loved ones that have to deal with you. But I just wrote an article about that. I don't know when it's going to post, but it'll be on USA Today, and it's on that exact topic. It's on that topic. Jay Carr, good to see you. We got some Ohio State people in here. I'm trying to breeze through here, and then we will go ahead and get to the calls. Homer, TD, good morning, John, and Always Irish family. I enjoyed the interview with the Suck Eyes Insider. Go Irish. Yeah. I got something else for you guys. Johnny Boy's been on a content binge since getting back from Notre Dame. I got something else really good to post tonight. And then I may make some appearances around some other Notre Dame media outlets the rest of the week. You're going to have to stay tuned and see. We're going to have leave that up for surprise here. Oh, man. Bruce, the format, Notre Dame guy stuck in Jacksonville representing morning team. The excitement nerves are ramping up. So how much Michigan OSU film should the Irish coaching staff be watching, and what can they take from it to employ on Saturday? Bruce, that's a very, very good question. If you want to look at really the only team that's truly at Ohio State's number in the last couple of years, it's Michigan. And in a lot of ways, they out-physicaled Michigan in those games. And then like last year, it was bombs away, man. I don't know if that's the recipe for Notre Dame or not with the personnel. But playing bully ball, yeah, if you can pull that off and make them flinch, that's a good way to do it too. It's a good way to do it too. Bruce, you do this like once a month where I think you're trying to call the call-in line. You call my cell phone. Call the call-in line instead, Bruce. Tom, Nick Dean, Paul Feinbaum is a windsock. Whichever the wind blows, he tries to jump in front of this story or trend. Yeah, as long as it favors the SEC, whatever the damn angle is. We knew all along Indy would win without Buckner and Reese. The Buckeyes would lose. Yeah. Listen, they may get it turned around down there in Alabama. They're going back to the first quarterback. I don't care what anybody says. I was told that both Reese and Buckner would be successful, especially Reese, more so Reese, would be successful. And Notre Dame itself was the problem. Not the people at Notre Dame, not the personnel. That Notre Dame itself was the problem. There is nothing anybody's going to tell me that isn't going to make me enjoy seeing them struggle. Sorry. More so Reese. I kind of feel bad for Buckner, but more so Reese. I don't care. I enjoy every second of it. Oh, John, that's petty. I don't care. Yes, and I don't care. I love it when people are like, oh, John, don't you think that's a little immature and petty? Yes, I do, and I do not apologize. Like, I just don't. Angela Rudiger, it's always good to have a Rudy in the chat, a Rudiger in the chat. By the way, let me bring this up. Callers, I swear I'm getting to you. I got to give these chats, their super chats. I got to give them their time. Get caught up with the timeline of the chats, and then I'll give it to you guys to call in, okay? I was thinking about this. You know, there's all this discussion about game day being in town and who the guest picker, Notre Dame picker is going to be. Think about it. This is the 30th anniversary of the movie Rudy coming out. 93 till now. It's 30 years. Isn't it an obvious thing to call up Rudy for the 30-year anniversary, bring him back, make a big deal of the 30-year anniversary, and then parlay that into the talking point of Notre Dame being an underdog in this game and what can you motivate? Like, I mean, that just seems like a no-brainer. It's Notre Dame. You could get anybody you want to do this. I'm just saying, if you wanted to go that narrative, you could string it together, tie it into the programming for ESPN on Saturday morning. Also, this is the only week I am suggesting to you guys to watch game day. Johnny may have a little something up his sleeve. So this is the only week, because it's at our place, I'm encouraging you guys to watch it. And see what's going on. But I got some plans in the works for this. So I want you to check it out. And then we all see if John's plan works out and we get a little free promotional action on the back of ESPN. Finally, they could pay me back for all the bad coverage they've given us over the last 20 years. Oh, man. Adam Dowling, most of these Ohio State fans think there's 0% chance ND keeps it close. I guess the Irish shouldn't even show up. Adam, man, I'm reasonable Ohio State people I've talked to are not saying that. A random person on Twitter or whatever, yes, but I am not hearing that from the real I'm just not hearing that. I did an interview last night with the Ohio podcast. I'm going to be posting later tonight. And, you know, they seem to have some respect for Notre Dame's side in as far as what we're bringing to the table, and actually admitting that Ohio State's not a complete product and that they have some questions too. Mark, pray for competent refs. Nope, forget it. I'm just counting that out. The refereeing's bad. It's like Major League Baseball. It's getting worse, not better, and there's no accountability. I am just figuring the officiating is going to be garbage, and Notre Dame's going to have to overcome it. Like, I'm sorry. That's my default setting when I see how bad these refs are at doing their jobs. Last week, every single flag, you had to have a 20-minute conference there. Everybody gather around, get your story right, and then make up what you're doing. Garbage. So I am figuring the refs are going to be bad, and then Notre Dame has to overcome it. I don't know how else to do it. Okay? I don't know how else to look at it. They're really bad this year, and I don't know what the hell's going on. D-Rock, Kenny Golly, the Sly Fox, good to see you in here. Dr. John, good morning. The opportunity's there. Grab it. Roy Boy, long-time guy. Good to see you. Oh, man, Notre Dame. I know that's right. Yep. Bring back Charlie. Bring back Charlie Weiss. That made me laugh. Taj, good to see you. C. Jones, always here. Tony, we got all the regulars. Adam, I know Adam's mad. He don't do this Ohio State business. How could you be so cocky as a fan base when Michigan's made you their biatch for the last 2 years in a row? Dude, I've been saying that too. What I've been saying is, don't these Ohio State people have to tone it down a little bit? You don't even own your own situation. Like, that's the thing. Like, I understand Ohio State fans having some confidence, but maybe you should tone it down a little bit when you don't even own your own circumstances anymore. Michigan does. And I just feel like they have more to prove than them sitting on a throne, talking down, acting like they're the bee's knees. You can't even get out of the Big Ten, and it hasn't even been close. You've been getting smoked by those clowns. So I wish they would tone it down a little damn bit, because you don't even own your own shit right now. Who the hell are you sitting on a throne talking down to everybody? Justin, I got a really sad thing to say to this. I just wish I could fall asleep and wake up 15 minutes before kickoff. I don't. And you know why, Justin? Because sometimes when we are in these games, the most optimistic part of the games is the buildup of the week. And maybe that's some of my Notre Dame big game scar tissue that I need to shed. But a lot of it, the buildup, is actually more fun than when the stupid game starts, because Notre Dame always poops themselves. Historically, in this situation, I need this time to be different. It feels like it's going to be different. We have the personnel to make it look different. Make it different. Justin, somebody take me to the game. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Oh, man. MJH Irish. Saturday is going to be unreal. I'll cut my grass twice, paint the house, clean out the garage, take care of the wife, and clean up the garbage along the highway. I'll have so much energy. I like that. Put it into something positive instead of just drinking 80 beers and pacing around the house like John used to do. Oh, man. What do we got, Nolan? I'm going to game day. Can I show off Always Irish brand? I will wave a flag. The flags I have are already handed out for that purpose. So I've already tried to do that. And Saturday after the tailgate gave a flag to somebody I need to kind of get it positioned. So I appreciate the offer, but I'm hoping I got that covered. I want that free promotion off ESPN, baby. Dude, this would be good content, J-Car. We need a John blood pressure measurement during the game. I need to seriously do one of them things where they hook up your vitals and show it on the screen, and then just show me like the rage meter or like in the death zone. Oh, man. Yeah, that happened. Who the hell was that clown that said India had no talent at their roster? They're going to get curb slam. What a moron. That guy's got a big Ohio State media following. He's an actual reporter for Ohio State, and he's convinced this is going to be a blowout in favor of Ohio State. Game's not going to be close. Total blowout. He said Notre Dame fans are going to be leaving for the exits late in the third quarter. Total blowout. No match at all. I don't know if I believe that. Eric, what's going on? Dave 86, local source. What's going on? From the belly of the beast at Columbus. That's rough. That is rough. Norm Kelly, what's going on? Not related to Brian, I don't think. If this team is different, they must win this game. The deflation of losing it is almost immeasurable, and the same talking point about us remains. P.S. Screw that team from Ohio. Norm, let me bring your worries to a next level. Here's the next step of this. Almost caught up with the chat. I'm sorry, you guys. I know you're waiting patiently. But I do get some complaints that I let the chat lag because I'm talking or on a call, and then I'm not reacting to the live chat. I'm a few minutes behind. So you can't please everybody. I'm trying to catch up. But then the callers are mad that they have to wait. I can't win, you guys. I'm trying my best here to be fair to everybody. Let me freak you out a little more. The deflation of losing this game would be immeasurable, and the same talking point remains. That's 100% accurate. The next step of that nightmare is Duke at night the next week. We are all going to be deflated. The team is going to be low on energy. They're going to lay it all out on the field, give it all that emotion, all the big game and all that. We're all going to be running on empty next week, whether it's good or bad. If it goes bad, the whole battle next week is going to turn into how can Notre Dame prevent one loss from turning into two? Okay, Duke's going to be ranked, undefeated, night game at their place like that. I get it. That ain't a big game. Whatever. It's going to feel like it. And especially if you lose, you got to find a way then to not make one loss two. And that is going to be an immense mental challenge. It would also be a challenge if you win it to not get out of your skis and overlook Duke. I would much rather have that freaking problem on my shoulders to worry about than the other one. No. Okay. Oh, John Galt, he's back. Man, I thought I banned this like 2 months ago. Is this a new one? Everybody's pumping up ND so hard for this game. We know how all these games end. Klatt nailed it. ND lose this game. Same old ND from the past 30 years. You may be right, John Galt, but I don't think you will be. I do not see how having Sam Hartman as your quarterback does not instantly change this equation. I do not see that. That is the main reason I'm saying this is a different way Notre Dame's built entering one of these moments. They actually have a real-world quarterback you're not terrified of seeing in a big game against elite talent. I'm not saying it's a guarantee we're going to win and he's going to the Heisman. I'm just saying Notre Dame's chances are way better with this guy than anything we've had at quarterback in any of these big matchups in the last 20 years. So, yes, it's factual to bring up Notre Dame's big game losses my whole life. It's also factual to say Notre Dame's entering this game built differently than all those matchups. So, factually, you're not wrong, but the circumstances are different this time, and it better pay off. It better pay off. All right, let me get these super chats, and then we'll get some calls going. $10 holler, MJH Irish. Love the idea of the live chat while watching the game with all you folks so we could share the moments of victory together. I've had people say that's a good idea, that's a bad idea with the lagging. Would everybody be on at the same time? I don't know, but it's something I'm looking into. Mike 38, I'll take the $5 holler. He just says OH. I'll take your $5, but I got a question for the Ohio State people. How dumb are you guys at book learning in Ohio that it takes more than one person to spell a 4-letter word? A second grader can spell Ohio, and it takes two of you guys. One of you, 2 letters is all your brain can handle, and then your Buckeye nut buddy next to you has to do the last 2. Unbelievable. How many people does it take to spell that dumb word? $10 holler from Dino to Bambino. I have been longing to be proud of our Fighting Irish. We've spent too much time as fans living in the lowest of lows with this team. I'm ready for the highest highs. The time is now. Dino Bambino, you're right on it. That's the way I see it too. This is a test for Notre Dame to try and prove that they are moving from the top of the very, very good into the bottom of the elite. This is the first step towards that morph. You're not going to fully be there. I'm not going to fully put them there if they win this game. I still have to see more. But if you want to talk about Notre Dame trying to inch from that group of very good into something higher than that, that's what this opportunity affords you. And you got it at home. You got the night game. You got the green out. You got the quarterback with more experience. It all lines up. I've been saying this since the summer. If ever there was a set of circumstances that favored Notre Dame in this game before it kicks off, these are the ones. Usually it's all working against us. We're on the road. We have a bad quarterback. We have these problems. This time, the circumstances, they're pointing in Notre Dame's direction. To not take advantage of that, it would hurt my soul, man. It would hurt my heart inside. We got a $5 holler from Willie B. Artigan. By the way, Willie, it was very nice to meet you in person at the tailgate and have a deep discussion about your screen name. By the way, no more excuses, no more leniency, no more so close. Win, win, win. Notre Dame's got to be past that, way past that. Well, at least we didn't get blown out. That's progress. Ain't nobody here for that, dog. Ain't nobody here for that. At undefeated with the quarterback and all that we're doing, I'm not here for no. At least you didn't get blown out, and at least you tried. This ain't no T-ball game. We're not giving out participation ribbons. Okay? Thanks for the donation, Dino the Bambino. $20 holler from the Rotate, man. V1 Rotate, V2 $20 holler. John Mr. Rogers is on record being a top-tier NDAter. He would be the first in line to blank all over us. He looked like he was too busy and important to be there. Also, when can I become a channel member? I'm coming up with something for Patreon for that. And with Mark Rogers, there have been multiple Notre Dame fans that have messaged me about things that have been said or occurred on his program with Notre Dame. When I've been on with Mark Rogers, the Notre Dame conversation's been pretty fair and straight and fair. So I had an issue figuring out when I'm doing stuff with Mark, everything's like pretty straight-laced. I'm not seeing Notre Dame hating with me there, whatever. But I'm hearing that it happens on these other shows. I brought him on to clear the air. I was not trying to set him up, nothing. But stuff that happened on his show, Notre Dame people have a problem with. If I'm having him on my show, I felt an obligation to ask those questions and let him try and clear the air. So maybe an uncomfortable moment. I didn't mean it that way. Mark and I are still good, but I felt an obligation to bring those things up, give him a chance to explain what happened or if the words were twisted or it wasn't him that said whatever. So I just wanted to do that, okay? But thank you very much for the donation. $5 holler. John, win this game and you have your answer to the chicken and the egg scenario. There you go. We always talked about that. You know, how are you going to change the narrative? You either got to get an elite roster and then you could go win it. And if you're going to reverse engineer it, you get a couple elite wins. Talent will want to come to you. You can do it that way. Let's get it going. $2 holler from Quinn. Is that the turnover chain? Yeah. Quinn took a picture from the tailgate. Good to see you and your family, by the way. Quinn took a picture from the tailgate of this chain and turned it into the Miami thing and then put that out. So then it looked like I was rocking the turnover chain. I don't appreciate that. It was all in jest, but still, it was funny. All right. I'm going to keep going through the chats. I'm going to give the callers a chance. Now, I'm telling you guys right now, we got a lot of callers. Everybody isn't getting 10 minutes. That's not possible this week. Understand that. This ain't a Wednesday morning in June with nothing happening. We got a lot of callers. Get to your few main bullet points, a few minutes each, and we're going to let other people have a say. So we're going to breeze through today. Rest of the week, that's just how it has to be. 618, let's make it great. You're starting things off. Good morning. Hello.
I am fired up for this one. I agree with you that I think this will be the biggest environment at Notre Dame since the Bush Push game. And to be honest with you, that's probably the last time that I felt that Notre Dame has a legit shot.
Yeah.
Without the excuses of, we're a quarter, we don't have the quarterback advantage. Yep. We don't have the advantage at this position.
It's a big opportunity. It's a big opportunity. And that is the number one ray of optimism that I have is Notre Dame's entering this team built differently. And therefore, all of those previous matchups that burn in our brains that we can't get out of our minds, they really don't apply. Notre Dame's entering this built differently. And I'm just very interested to see how that plays out.
Absolutely. And I think, with the news of Deuce and then last night, Garby Lambert committing, I think you're starting to stack positives.
Yeah.
You just got a top 10 quarterback. You just got a huge offensive tackle.
Yep.
You've got the biggest game at Notre Dame in 20 years almost right in front of you. You got to go out and take the bull by the horns and just smack the shit out of them.
Yep, that's it, man. And it's going to be a battle. It's going to be physical. I expect all those things. This Notre Dame has a major opportunity here to change some narratives and exercise some demons that have been haunting us, excuse me, for like the past 20 years. Like this is a huge opportunity. It doesn't mean, oh, if Freeman doesn't win it, he's never going to be a good coach. No, this is just an opportunity to really force the country to look at Notre Dame differently. They would have to if you win this game. There is a lot on the line, damn it.
There's a lot on the line. I was going to ask you, I don't know if this has ever happened, to be honest, but if you're game day, if Notre Dame goes out and beats Ohio State, handles their business for, Duke and Louisville, you would have to come back for USC, right?
You know what?
I mean, you're looking at a number 4 against number 5 or something.
I thought of that too. However, I stopped myself from thinking about it. Well, I'm going to worry about one thing at a time. So that's where as far as I went, and it entered my brain. And then I'm like, I'll worry about that later if it comes up. But I thought of it, man. I did think of it. Let me ask you this. What do you think is the biggest key to the game? Like, what is Notre Dame going to have to do more than anything else to emerge victorious here? What do you think?
I really think you have to sell out on the run. I mean, I know they have Harrison Jr. and I can't think of the other wide receivers.
Yeah, Emeka Ibuka, I think. Yeah.
Something like that. But last year you saw Notre Dame was in it the whole way. And then in the third and fourth quarter, Ohio State just leaned on them.
Yep.
And the big rush just started happening, and TreVeyon Henderson just started to break free.
Yeah. I brought this statistic up earlier in the week. Last year, Ohio State had 17 first. I think it was Irish Illustrated had this in an article. Last year, they ran the ball on first down 17 times. 16 of them were considered high efficiency runs. If that happens, this Notre Dame's dead. You can't let them get early down run chunks of 4, 5, 6 yards and set up second and third and reasonable. Notre Dame's dead. You got to do a better job against the run. And it offended my sensibilities to see us get wore down late in that game last year. Be better this time.
Well, and I think that's how I'm sure McCord is a good quarterback. I haven't watched much of him. I'm sure in the future he will be a good quarterback to great quarterback. But he's young. This is his first time playing in an environment like this.
Yep.
He's never experienced it.
Yep.
If you get them in second and long, third and long, force false start penalties, force holding penalties, you rattle him. And if you rattle him, he makes mistakes. That's when you get a pick or a sack fumble. That's when you force turnovers. And then that's when you stack momentum. I really don't think that Notre Dame will have a problem scoring. I think Sam Hartman and the weapons we have will be able to score.
Yeah.
But can you get that turnover or that stop that turns it from one possession to two possessions?
You know what you need? You know what you need? You need a Benjamin Morrison Clemson repeat. That's what I think you're looking at on the back end there. A couple big pass plays that could either go as 50-yard gains for them or an interception for us, something like that. Notre Dame defense, if you ever wanted to show up in a game, baby, and make some big plays, this is your chance. So this is going to be interesting, man. What are your plans for the game? You going to sit at home and stress out? Are you going to go out and watch it? What are you going to do?
I am. So I'm almost like you, John. I have given my wife money to spend the evening out with her friends.
Yep.
I'm watching it by myself.
That's just the safest way for everybody, is it not? It's just better and safer for everybody. It's just a safer way to go for the night, man. You're right. That's a great call.
One last question for you. I don't know if it was on in the chat or another podcast. They were talking about Benjamin Morrison covering Harrison Jr. one-on-one pretty much the whole night. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if he's your best guy, then I understand that. And then if he can lock him down, then at least you're forcing the ball to go to some of those other guys and not him. But you're going to need more than one guy on the back end to be good for Notre Dame to win this game. That's the other thing. We've had Julian Love. We've had Kyle back there. But I needed multiple of those guys at the same time to be out there. So it can't just be one of those guys in the back end. You're going to need more than one to play really good on back there, and it just you're going to need it this time.
Oh yeah, I think Cam and Xavier and Henderson will make or break. If
Yeah.
even if Morrison shuts them down, those guys play terrible, you're in trouble.
Yeah, so that's going to be a big matchup. One of the keys to the game. It's on my list as a key to the game. We talk about Notre Dame's secondary maybe being the best in 20 years, one of the best in the country this year. Well, you're going to find out right now real quick where you fall because you're playing these guys. Hey, man, I really appreciate the call. Way to start us off on a big game Wednesday. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, Sean. Have a great Wednesday.
Have a good one, man. People are getting fired up. I like this quick pace. Let's get through it. 773. Tom, you're talking to me. Happy Wednesday, buddy.
Hey, John, how are you, my friend? Good to hear from you.
I'm telling you how I'm doing,
yeah.
man. It's building up in me, and it's getting hard to contain. It's growing. This is a big week, Tom. You've seen a lot of big Notre Dame week buildups. This is a big one, man. This one has a lot on the line.
I'll tell you what, the magnitude of this game is the biggest I've seen since the '93 Florida State game.
Yeah.
I think this Notre Dame wins this game. It's a Sports Illustrated cover type game. This is what's on the line. There's so much recruiting on the line, and let's face facts. Since they started playing the Ohio State in '95 again, things they've got us. They own us. So it's time. It's time. We're well overdue for a punch in the face.
Yeah.
I think what you're going to see Saturday is you'll see. I'm very confident in the Holden Stays. I think you're going to see that seam pass to Holden Stays, and I think Jaden Thomas is going to be involved in this passing game as well. If they've got the coverage on Tobias Merriweather and maybe Tyree to a little bit, but I look for Tyree to be used in some fly sweeps or some jet sweeps, especially if we get the ball, first and 10 between the 40s. They're going to look to put a wrinkle in there to break them up, and they're going to score. I really believe they're going to score, and the defense is going to have to step up. And I'm glad Bertrand and DJ Brown are coming back. That is going to be the difference of the game.
Yeah.
And
man, Tom,
Tom,
Tom, just answer this to me. Tell me if I'm crazy. I'm usually the glass half empty guy, but I'm optimistic. Am I off base for saying that, in my opinion, all that old Notre Dame big game stuff doesn't really apply because of how differently this team's entering the game as far as what they're capable of and the quarterback and all that? I genuinely mean it when I say Notre Dame is entering this game totally different, and it changes the equation. That's right. Do you agree with that? It looks way different.
Yeah, absolutely. It does look different because of the fact that we've got a quarterback and we've got the skill players that we do. But here's the other thing, and I think it may come down to this, and the fact is that we've got a kicker and we've got a punter.
Yeah.
And can't overlook that. So I'm going to leave you go there, John. Those are my thoughts. I think we're going to win a close one on Saturday.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, I'm glad you're doing better, man. I'm glad you're healthy.
Thanks.
And yeah, we're hoping everything would go okay for you. And we also wanted it to be quickly over so you could be in tip-top shape for this week's festivities, buddy. So I'm glad you're upright and up and at it. I'm glad you're up and at it, brother. Have a good one.
Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
Take care,
guys.
Tom.
Go Irish.
Yep, go Irish. Man, what a good guy. He called me from the hospital getting an MRI last week. I ain't BSing you. He literally called, and it's like, what's up, Tom? He's like, well, I got all these problems. I'm waiting for an MRI at Northwestern, and I had to call you. You want to talk about loyalty to the cause. This man was calling from the ER last week. God, I love you, Tom. I love you so much. We're going to go 202 and then 612 after that. 212. It was really nice seeing you at the tailgate Saturday. Thank you for coming by, my friend.
Here from the Irish, John, and we have no excuses, and hell is coming with us.
Yep. It's does it almost cause you some anxiety to say we don't have any excuses? Because then if it goes bad, where do you lean next? Like, right? Like you could always say before under Kelly, well, yeah, I know why we lost. We didn't have a quarterback, whatever. It would hurt more if you had one and still lost, wouldn't it? In a way.
It absolutely causes me anxiety. It's one of the million reasons I'm not in South Bend this weekend.
Yeah.
I am dreading this game because there's quite a lot out of our control, namely the refs.
Yep.
And anyone on the line or anyone listening, if you have definitive evidence of which conference's refs are going to be on the field, if you could put that in the chat, because the traditional rule is visitors bring the refs, home conference in the booth. Okay. Apparently, more and more, those terms are being negotiated away. So we might have, and this just makes me sick to my stomach, we might have Big Ten refs on the field. Do you remember the 2004, 2005 season with the 86,000 holding calls?
Yeah,
but why? Finally, we got rid of Big Ten. We started doing the math after that.
Why does Notre Dame allow that? Why can't Notre Dame put a rider in their contract saying we're not agreeing to play any of you unless we have neutral refs from another conference? Find a crew that has a bye week that week and bring them in. Do something. I've never liked how Notre Dame allows that part of this to be beyond their control at home. I know we're independent, but I still think there's got to be a way around it in those contracts.
Look, one of the last contracts Kevin White signed as AD was a home and home with Michigan, and he allowed them to have Big Ten on the field and in the booth in both venues.
Yeah,
that was his parting gift.
Yeah.
He got away with that. It's increasingly a big deal, and conferences are digging their heels in, I think, which gives the lie to the breezy retort of, oh, refs don't matter, don't complain about the refs. Yeah, then why do you negotiate the contracts this way, Bubba?
Yeah, that's a good point.
Anyway.
Yeah, and so I'm just figuring they're going to be bad, and we're going to have to overcome it. The last 2 weeks, the officiating has not been good. I'm getting used to that, and I am just figuring it's going to be bad, and you need to be good enough to overcome it, because there's nothing I can do about that. It better not, some stupid half-ass call better not alter the result of this game, or I'm gonna have a major problem.
Well, Tyler Horka, who I think is excellent, I think he's going to have a fantastic career, gave us all a gut punch in the last 8 hours when he posted about, hooray, let's look at the 1996 Ohio State at Notre Dame game. Let's look at Lou and all of our excellent players back then.
Yeah.
You know how that game ended?
Yeah, very poorly.
Autry Denson TD was called back. Just like Rocket against Colorado 3 years prior.
12-year-old John did not have a good afternoon back then. I remember it well, and I remember my father's reaction. That was not a good afternoon back then. Nope, didn't like it at all. So
I want to talk quickly about bulletin board material.
Yeah, give it to me.
College.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Twitter account belonging to a publication, the College Football Report, right? Their staff put up their choice of the better team at various position groups, like you do. They only gave Notre Dame the arrow, if you will. They only chose Notre Dame. Check this out. For O-line and special teams. Okay, so they gave the QB advantage to Kyle McCord. So let's talk about that.
Wow.
Kyle McCord, in 3 games, Kyle McCord has 7 touchdowns and 1 interception. 7-1. Sam in 4 games has 13-0. Even take away the Navy game, he has 9-0. And I won't even go through the yardage, but trust me, Sam kicks his butt. So yeah, sure, Ohio State has the advantage. Not to mention our quarterback is 32 years old, is the father of 3, and has played 3,000 football games.
Yeah.
Sure,
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That was a joke.
Yeah.
That was a joke. Sam does not have any children. I'm just kidding.
As far as you know. As far as we know.
I think that's going to change shortly, but that's another phone call.
Yeah.
Okay, and this cracks me up. They gave the nod to Ohio State for running back. You have to be kidding me right now. Ohio State running backs in total this season 470 yards. Our running backs this season 818. Take away the highest game. The highest game was Central at 236. Take that away. We're still at 562. You want to explain to me how our running backs are not as good as Ohio State? Look, and it's bulletin board material, and I love it. I hope Marcus puts this tweet in paper form inside every guy's locker. Every single guy.
Yep.
They don't believe in you.
Yep. Use it.
Use it.
You know what I'm using? I'm using the clip of the guy I made a big deal about yesterday that went on. He's an official Ohio State beat guy and said Notre Dame fans are going to be leaving by the third quarter. This is going to be an absolute beatdown, blowout. Notre Dame is a bunch of guys nobody's ever heard of. Nobody big time wanted to recruit. And he's saying this is going to be a beatdown and the Notre Dame fans are going to leave early. I would make sure every guy sees that clip sometime before this weekend. I would pull out all the tricks, do your loo, do whatever you need to do to get these guys keyed up, but under control.
Just keep telling them they don't know what's coming. They think they know. They don't know what's coming. And don't guarantee a victory. You keep the same messaging about win the interval, stay in the moment, don't drift. I'm loving this new thing that Marcus is doing, this don't drift message.
Yep.
And you know who you are, and all that matters, you each know who you are, we know who we are, our coaching staff knows who we are, and all we got to do now is show it. And I think Ohio State is nervous, and I think that's why they're chirping so much. Like, what are you so worried about, bro? Why are you dogging me in my, on Twitter?
Yep.
Obviously, you're scared, and you should be. So, man, I mean, if we win this game,
ooh, baby,
when we win this game, shame on me. When we win this game, USC had better look the hell out.
Hey, let me worry about one thing at a time, my friend. Let me worry about one problem at a time. And even if that happened, I got to stress out about freaking Duke and not on a basketball court. All right. I'm not going to like that the next week before I worry about the rest of it. I appreciate your energy, and this is a big one, and Notre Dame's got to go prove it. You are that big game record failure until you prove you're not. You just got to go win one of these games at some point. So hopefully it's this week. You got big plans. You're going to have to watch it alone in a padded room. What are you doing for the game?
Yeah, I'm for sure watching this one alone. My house is going to be sparkling clean because I'll have to burn off all that energy.
Yeah,
so
put it into
whenever we have a late kickoff.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
So I'll leave you with this, John. You got to go, and I've got an 11 o'clock. Remember, just focus on the Lou, that Lou message.
Yep.
Don't flinch. Don't flinch.
Yep.
Something bad happens. Maybe, don't flinch. Believe.
Yep.
We're going to get it done.
Man,
go Irish.
You mentioned that. It's literally a bullet point, number 5 on my list. Who flinches? And it's on there. You're spot on. Hey, it was really nice meeting you Saturday. Thank you for the Shamrock pin, by the way. Appreciate it.
You're welcome. Bye-bye, guys.
Have a good one. Oh, man. People are worked up. Let's go to Dr. John. And then I got 480-937-618-646. Dr. John is on the air. What's up, man?
Hey, partner. How are you?
I'm doing very well. So did you all your travels went well? You got home safe from the tailgate and the game and everything? It was great meeting you, my friend. We had a great time.
Yeah. I am in Bloomington, Minnesota. I have a noon tea time, and then 5:30 tomorrow morning I'll hit the road for Montana.
Wow, you're all over the place, man. Hey, we had a great time meeting you. I have your doctor jacket there in the basement. John, you've seen a lot of Notre Dame football. I want to know how big you feel this week is. You've seen a lot of decades, a lot of iterations of this team. Where does this build up and what's on the line stack up to you in your Notre Dame experience? You're a perfect person to ask.
Well, I'm going to address that after I thank you and your family for the hospitality you showed me on Saturday. It was just a joy meeting everybody, and it was a special treat to have Mr. Hurricane, Marcus's father-in-law, come up to me and share some stuff. So anyway, thank you so much. And before I talk about this game, you talked about making it an annual affair. And my feeling is the sooner you could announce that, I would love to bring my daughters to the tailgate next year.
Yeah, so, John, what I think we're going to do is, now that we did this again for a real game and it grew and it did well, I think if we plan one of those earlier games, like against a non-top tier opponent, give more people a chance to plan for it and then know we're going to have that event. And so it's a good little thing we did. I think one a year is good, and we'll make our plan way ahead so that everybody can plan for it. But we had a great time. We have such a good group. I feel very lucky to have all those nice people.
Well, your mom is so sweet and was so nice to me. Please give her a hug for me, will you?
I will, man. I'm lucky. I have good family, and they all helped out, and it was just it was great, man. We had a great time.
Okay, regarding the game, I think the key to this thing is going to be our defense. They have got to have their best game of the year.
Yep.
And I think if they do, we win it, and maybe by 10. But they have got to have a super game. We need some hurries in that backfield, if not some sacks. And I think if that happens, we're in good shape.
Yeah.
As far as build up, I could go back to 66, talk about build up, that Michigan State game, which was a 10-10 tie. The 77 Southern Cal game didn't have much build up. Turned out to be probably the national championship game. And I remember before that game in the parking lot, the hottest selling item was a bumper sticker that said "Dump Divine."
Yeah.
Well, after that game, you didn't see one of them.
Yeah. Yeah. John, it's such a big opportunity for Notre Dame to take that next step. The way I look at it is like it would be the next incremental step from being very, very good, which Notre Dame's been for a while, creeping into like the lower elite level. You're going to need a win like this to ever make that move. You're just going to have to do it. Like you are that old big game failure narrative until you prove you're not. The time is now, man.
You got it. It is. And I'll tell you what, every time I see Marcus interviewed, and especially when he's with a player, this guy is the real thing. And that's really what his father-in-law told me on Saturday too. From day one, he was just like he is on TV that you see, and I started to watch Wake Up the Echoes before your show today. And I started watching and I thought, my God, what a 180 out from Brian Kelly. When you watch this man interviewed, he is so humble. He is, and he knows he's growing. You know, he doesn't have it all together, and he admits that.
Yeah,
so,
that's a big part of it, John.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, the offseason, Freeman started talking about, changing some of his messaging to the team and realizing some of the plan last year didn't work and how he was going to pivot and all that. That's a lot of maturity and humility to admit that you're learning on the job. You don't have all the answers and that there are things you need to work on. Yeah, it all lines up, man. The vibes are good. The quarterback vibes are good. The head coach vibes are good. Recruiting's good. Like, you have it all going for you. Notre Dame is going to have to win one of these to change the narrative. There's no other path. You're going to have to find one of these to win. And the opportunity's there, John. So this is going to be a big one. And I don't know, man. We have not had a build-up like this in years. You can feel it. You can just feel the energy. It's incredible. It's electric.
Yep. It's all on the plate right now. So let's have a feast.
There you go, man. I like it. I like it a lot. Dr. John, thank you very much. Give me a call back either Friday or even on the Friday night show, because it's going to be a big deal Friday night. Everybody working their anxiety out. So hopefully I'll hear from you again, okay?
Okay, I will give you a holler Friday night.
Perfect. And thank you for the kind words about the family, man. We really were happy you were there, and it was a big deal for all of us to meet you. So we're one big, happy, good Irish family, man. Thanks a lot for coming.
Well, you made it an ego trip for me, I'll tell you. It was so much fun. Hey. Anyway, have a great show. Go Irish, and I'll talk to you Friday night.
All righty. See ya. Dr. John, man, we had to make it a big deal when Dr. John shows up, man. I mean, he's a main attraction. 480, what do you know? Good morning.
My man, John, what's going on?
Man, that big game anxiety is what's going on, man. I feel it creeping up in me fast. Every hour, it's getting bigger and bigger. This is a big opportunity for Notre Dame, and they're built different. Do you agree with that, or do you have some major anxieties this week? Where are we at?
You know, man, this is the first time I can honestly say that in a big game environment, like attitude, you know, like build up prior to the game, I don't feel nervous, man. Like years past watching Brian Kelly teams, knowing we got Georgia coming up and Clemson and all these other games, it's like I just would feel a bit nervous. I would feel nervous in terms of how bad are we going to get beat. Like I would think like, okay, let's just hope we keep the score close. Like I don't have that thought anymore, man, and to me, that's a really good sign because normally and that's just BK PTSD still kind of has lingered in my head over the years. But man, something about this game is just different. And I remember I was 15 years old when the Bush push game happened, and I remember I was at home by myself. My mom was at work, and I just remember, man, that game was just. It was life-changing for me because prior to that time, I mean, I watched Notre Dame games, but I didn't see a game to that magnitude. Oh, take that back. It was the Willingham game when we went to Florida State and beat them. That was another big one. But that Bush push game to me was like a changing of the guard in terms of my fandom as a Notre Dame fan. And for some reason, man, this game just has that type of feel to it, man.
Yeah.
And for the first time in God knows how long, we have a quarterback that we're going in with the advantage.
And wait, you're talking about like a couple different things here. Practically, I can point to reasons Notre Dame's more equipped to go in and enter this matchup. Sure, practically, you could point to Hartman and this and that, whatever. But you're also right about the vibe, like the feel of it, the vibe of it, the momentum of it. Like Notre Dame's having a damn good week, man. Undefeated, good recruiting news. Everybody likes the coach. Everybody likes the quarterback. Everybody's excited to wear their green. It isn't just practically Notre Dame's entering this in a better spot. Like the vibes are good. The vibes are never this good in Notre Dame. It's the best the vibes have been since Lou. Even when Kelly was winning, there wasn't this good of vibes because he was still a prat. So the vibes are as good as they're ever going to get.
I was watching last night, John, on YouTube. They have those old Notre Dame, these little storyline videos that they put together. And they had a video up of the 93 game between Florida State and Notre Dame. And kind of did a storyline of the build up behind it and the whole Bob Costas intro and all that.
Yep.
And man, just watching that video, man, it was just it just started making me get fired up.
Dude,
man,
you got it. I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps already because I know what you're a day dreamed of just around the corner from Main Street. The whole thing with the Rudy music behind it, crank it up again. Yeah. Give it to me again. Crank it up again, damn it. Oh,
man, that's how I feel, man. I'm like, and I had a flag football game last night I played in, so I was like, I'm trying to get fired up for the game, and then I'm like watching this, and I'm like, man, I just, like I said, man, and I can't think of the young lady's name that just called in was telling you about the breakdowns between both teams. I saw that as well on X, and I'm just like, I comment, I'm like, this is whoever created this obviously has not watched Notre Dame football, like has no idea the type of team that Ohio State's going against. And the bottom line is for them to list Kyle McCord as the advantage of quarterback.
Yeah, that's wild.
It's just like
where's the body of
ignorance,
work?
man.
Like, are they doing that because
yeah,
they value?
exactly,
Are they
exactly.
doing? But are they doing that because they overvalue the receivers?
Passer in ACC history,
Right.
the all-time leading touchdown passer in ACC history. Do we know what Kyle McCord is going to become?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to tell you something, dude. Whether I feel strongly that we're going to win this game, and I'm going to say it's going to probably be a 10-point victory. That's what I'm kind of looking at. But they can very well drop another 2 games this season. Like this won't be the end of them potentially maybe losing another couple of games. I mean, Penn State is a lot better offensively than they were last year. And, we know what the whole situation Michigan has been with them.
Yeah.
And so it's like, this could be I just think, man, this game for Notre Dame, number one, we're already on a hot streak with recruiting. I'm so happy we got Verby Lambert and Deuce Knight. Those are 2 massive recruiting pickups going into this week. And I just think the momentum is you can just feel it, man. You can just feel the aura in any fan that has truly watched this team over the course of the last two and a half decades can tell you, like, you just know it. When you see it, you see it. When you have the it factor, you have the it factor. And Friedman just has, like Dr. John said, you can tell, man, he's growing. He knows he doesn't have it all, but he's putting something together, man, in Notre Dame that's special, man. And these kids, I'm telling you, man, they see it. You see the hashtag they always with these recruits saying think big. They see it, man. They see what Freeman's trying to establish at Notre Dame, and I'm telling you, man, when we beat Ohio State this weekend, dude, you ain't seeing nothing yet.
Man,
in terms of recruiting, in terms of the everything around this program is just going to be like,
there's a lot on the line.
Be bananas,
this one game is more than just one game because there's so many big picture items linked to the result that could be changing the Notre Dame program in big ways. So this is it's just going to be a big one, man. What are you going to do for the game? You going out? Too much anxiety? Got to watch it alone? What are you going to do?
Man, look, I cannot go out
and
watch another game at a bar because the
Me
last
neither.
experience I had was going to Buffalo Wild Wings and watching us get our ass kicked against Miami in 2017. And that was the worst experiences on the face of the planet.
Yeah.
So I can never, from that point forward, I've made a vow to myself, I cannot watch Notre Dame games at a bar or even public. I mean, even with a group of people.
Yeah.
It's like I have to watch that game by myself.
Yeah.
Man,
yeah. For a lot of
reasons.
reasons.
I clean my house and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just for a lot of reasons why I can't.
Yep.
Because, dude, if things go sour, I get.
Yep.
I'm like, I walk around the house. I get, I'm just on edge, man.
And I want to be respectful, and I know I'm going to be awful. So I avoid being around people. So if something goes bad, there's nobody there for me to be a jerk to except for myself, man. That's how you know what I mean? Like if everybody's gone, then I can't offend anybody because I'm mad about football. It's going to be wild, man. Hey, I really appreciate the call. Thanks for checking back in. And we're going to be live Friday morning and Friday night. If you're around and you want to hop back in, then dial it up.
Good, John. Good hearing from you, man.
Yeah, have a good one, man. Thank you for the call. I like the pacing of this, you guys. People kind of like it when we move faster. I like it. But we got to have full phone bank lines to be able to do that, to keep it moving. John Galt's out. I'm sorry. Like, I can't. First off, multiple John Galt accounts have been banned already, and then another one comes up. So it must be a different email or whatever. Fine. I don't mind, like, little prodding and making fun of Notre Dame, this and that. but I'm literally not going to have someone in my chat saying, John, you suck at this. Why? Like, why you're dumb when you do this. I'm simply not going to let someone in my own show talk shit about me being bad at running my show. You're gone. Done. Create a new email, create a new fake account, but you're out. Sorry, I'm not going to let you rip me on my own show. You want to rip my takes or disagree with the philosophy or a football point, that's different. But once you start saying I'm doing a bad job on my own show, you're out. I don't have time for that, bro. I'm way too far down this road to be hosting comments saying I'm bad at this. I'm just not going to do it. $5 olive from the Chief. Good to see you, Chief. Kind of feels like a reversal of the Cincy game from 21. They have the better roster top to bottom, but we like our matchups against them. Chief, that's a very, very eloquent point by you. Yeah, that is a good point. And the way I look at that is I feel like Ohio State has more star talent overall. I know they do. The recruiting rankings indicate that. I know they do. But in some of the most important matchups, I think Notre Dame can hang in there. Mostly quarterback, first and foremost. So then where does that balance out the ledger? If they have more overall talent, but I feel like at the most important position, Notre Dame has the advantage. How does that weigh out then? That's something I got to think about. 618. Let's make it great. We got more callers on the way. I love it. What's going on, man?
Yeah, how you doing, John? Man, I'm ready for this.
I'm
week.
getting
this
fired up.
I've been waiting on all summer.
I'm getting
This
fired
is what
up.
I've been waiting on all summer.
You've been talking about this game, dude. You've been talking about this game every single week, all the way through the dog days of summer. You've been talking about this game. This is your week, baby. This is all you, dog. This is your week.
Man, just in case I don't get back to you, man, this week I got Notre Dame winning 38-24.
Ooh, baby. I like where you're going. Now draw us the roadmap Now wait. You can't just throw out that number. You got to tell me the roadmap. How does Notre Dame get there then? Give it to me.
I think it's going to be too much Hartman and too much Estimate. And I was listening to another podcast, and they were just saying, man, Notre Dame is deep at running back. I just think it's just going to be – we're going to all physical then, man. That offensive line from Ohio State, I didn't know they was that young, man. We're going to get after him. And all these guys that's calling me and talking about the defensive line is getting pressure on the quarterback. We're just not getting the sacks, but pressure is just as good as the sack because we can pressure. McCoy, this is his first big road game. I don't care what Brian Day say. Oh, he's seen it. Seeing it and being in it is two different things.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, you're right. I don't know, man. You gotta hope Hartman. This is why he comes here. These are the games why Hartman came here. I expect that guy to be a difference maker in this ball game and make some winning plays that we're not used to having in these type of games.
As Notre Dame fans, let's stop saying that we don't have a big win. Because that Clemson game last year, they came in ranked in the top 5. They have supposed to have a way better defensive line than what Ohio State got right now. Man, I think we wear Ohio State down. I'm not worried about the guard play. I'm not worried about the center play. I think they stepped it up to a whole new level.
Man. Hey, wait. That's a big flip up, though. That's a big flip. The last year, they wore us down. Now you got Notre Dame wearing them down at home later in the game. Wow, man. That would be a statement by Notre Dame. It'd be one thing to win the game no matter how it looks. If Notre Dame was somehow able to flip the script and wear them down and run the ball with Estimate or run out the clock or something, baby, then you're on a different talk. That would be a different level.
And you talking about the depth that they receive with, man. We just as deep at receiver as they are, man. Merriweather's starting to come around, man. And we're just as deep, man. And we're just as deep, and if not faster than them at wide receiver. Merriweather is fast, man.
Yeah.
You know, and when people talk about separations, good routes get you separation because Jerry Rice wasn't the fastest guy on earth, but he always had separation from DB.
Yeah. Yep. And man, I don't know. There's just so many questions we have. And let me ask you this. It almost feels like it's game one for both of these teams. Like both teams have like weeks of work in, but nobody seems sold because of the competition that you know exactly what level everything's at with both of them. Like it's kind of a weird dynamic. We're over a month in, but it feels like this is the first chance to get real answers. And the whole nation is curious about those answers.
And I know they played Indiana, but man, Ohio State played 3 FCS teams. I don't care if Indiana in the Big Ten. That's a basketball school, man. They ain't worried about no football, man.
Yeah.
They're FCS school playing in the Big Ten. So
that's good.
Hey, man, I just think, man, that we beat them 38-24. It's gonna be a rough day, man. It's going to be a rough day for McCoy, man. And I'm not saying that we're going to sack him 20 times, but I guarantee you we're going to press him, and we're going to pressure him, and we're going to throw it in his mouth, man. Only thing that worries me is that, man, we don't need to be blitzing every single play, man. Let's give this guy different looks, man. Man, our defensive line has been getting pressured, John. We're not getting to the quarterback to bring him down, but we're getting to him to make mistakes.
Yeah, man, I love you've been on this all summer and you've never wavered. You even in the summer you would call in the dog days of May, June, July and go, John, I feel like this is the one. All the dynamics are right. And the other thing, man, is good recruiting news too. You got Deuce, you got Gerby. Things are trending up this weekend. There's more cooking.
Yeah.
Like, dude, everything's pointing it upward towards Notre Dame right now. Everything.
I got a message for our fans. My son went on a recruiting trip to Mizzou last weekend. And I told you I didn't want to go. But, man, let me tell you, it was electric in Mizzou last weekend. You see 90% gold and black, probably 5% purple last week. A top 15 team came in there, and Mizzou beat them. And they beat them with physicality. It was different, man. The stadium, you couldn't even hear it. Man, when I got in my car, I said, dog, I got 20 missed phone calls. I didn't even hear my phone ring. It was that loud on every play. It was that loud, John.
Yep.
And that's how South Bend got to be this weekend.
And I think it will be, man. When Notre Dame's undefeated in a night game like that place should be loud. Even for Notre Dame standards, it should be loud. So I don't know, man. Hey, why don't you call me back? Give me a call back Friday morning or Friday night, and we'll get some final pregame thoughts from you, all right? If you're available.
I definitely will.
All right, man. I like your energy. You've been on this since the beginning, and you have never wavered, and I give you credit for that. We're going to find out if you're right or wrong. Have a good one, buddy. Give me a call again. Oh, boy. All right. Let's keep breezing here. 646, you're in the mix. What's going on?
John, what's up, my man? How you doing?
Oh, Bruce. My Notre Dame anxiety is getting to me early in the week. I feel it brewing. This is a big opportunity. For Marcus Freeman and Notre Dame. How are you feeling about this as you reside in SEC, ACC territory?
All right, so this is funny you ask how I'm feeling about it. I'm going to try to run through all this stuff as quickly as possible. First, how I'm feeling. I'm listening to all the previous callers, and I'm loving it as an Irish fan, and I'm loving their enthusiasm and all that. But it's funny because as a journalist, I'm feeling very muted, right? Obviously, I'm excited for the opportunity for Notre Dame to do something incredible, but I'm feeling very muted. I think it's just, I'm looking at it like, okay, let's try to be objective here. I'll be screaming and going nuts when the game's on, but for leading up to it, it's the fandom isn't there. I'm just really trying to break down the game analytically. Obviously, I want the Irish to win, but that's where I am on that. First question for you. This whole Notre Dame doesn't win big games narrative, I get it. I think since 1996, they're like 4-19 against top 10 teams. But how has everyone completely forgotten what they did to Clemson last year? That was a top 5 team that they absolutely manhandled. No one's even mentioning that.
All right. I think I know why. And I have the reason that I have not been mentioning it. It's totally different. Like, in a lot of ways, it's totally different. Number one is Notre Dame was playing for nothing nationally. That changes the dynamic right away. Notre Dame entered that game, and even if they won it, it didn't matter nationally. Notre Dame already had too many losses. They were done. There was nothing to gain on Notre Dame's side other than feeling good you ruined their season. There was no meat left on the bone for us. That's one difference. Number two difference is, yes, they were, I believe, 8-0 and ranked fourth and undefeated, but they were leaking oil. The media was not pumping them up going into that game. They were going, Clemson's begging for a loss the way they're playing. We just don't think Notre Dame's good enough to do it. For those two reasons, I think it's a little different. And a third reason is Clemson doesn't bring the heat, Michigan, Ohio State does. So I think that's why it was a little different. But I'm not having anything on the line to gain. If you win it nationally, that affects it to me. Changes the dynamic.
Cool. All right, next point. And I think I texted you about this, I'm not sure, but if you're the Notre Dame coaching staff, how much Michigan tape have you been watching against Ohio State to see what you can pull from their game plan and employ into what, what fits in what we do? Obviously not the same personnel, but, they play in a similar fashion to us, probably at this exact moment at a little higher level. But how much of that tape are you watching, and what are you trying to steal from them?
I'm telling
if
you,
you're
Bruce.
Notre Dame coaching staff.
I'm telling you, that is a very, very good point, and I'm glad you brought it up. Nobody's had their number and figured out exactly how to be a kryptonite for what they like to do than Michigan. And you're right, you got to figure out the personnel differences and what you could do or mix up. But you are absolutely right. You don't have to look far to find that tape and find the one team that's had their number. That's a very good point by you, Bruce. And I'm you know what, Bruce? I'm a little jealous at how you're able to kind of call time out on the fandom and have the objective journalist thing. I'm still working on acquiring that skill. I'm impressed by that, man. I am.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you real quick. It was a lot harder last year at the Gator Bowl. I can be honest about that.
Yeah.
That's there. Some superhuman ability there.
Yeah.
Okay. Next question. We're looking at, obviously, one of the marquee matchups maybe of this entire season, Ben Morrison versus Marvin Harrison Jr., one of the best corners in the country versus the best wide receiver in the country. But here's what I'm thinking about. Everyone's talking about Marvin Harrison Jr. and Emeka Egbuka, but Julian Fleming was also the number one wide receiver in his class, and he could cause havoc if they forget about him out there while all the attention is on those other two guys.
There's just no way, man. They're just really good and really talented, and everybody can burn you. And the problem is, it's like you could be good up front. You could hold up against the run most of the night. You could do all of that well. If you make one false move on the back end against these wide receivers, it's a touchdown. Like, your margin of error back there is so small. Like, that's why Notre Dame's defensive front has to get pressure to speed this all up, or Notre Dame's in trouble, I think. If Notre Dame's not at least speeding, I'm not saying you have to sack this guy 5 times. I'm saying if Notre Dame can't speed his clock up faster than he wants, it's going to be a long night. All it takes is one misstep on the back end and you're done. So I don't know, man. It's a big time matchup. Benjamin Morrison, you want to talk about Clemson? Give me a Clemson repeat of the way he played. I'll take it.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been listening to a ton of stuff all week. Sports talk, Notre Dame stuff. And one of the things I heard was that Al Golden, his philosophy is kind of all or nothing, right? So it's either all coverage or all pressure.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's going to have to mix that up against Ohio State, because if you send all pressure, and this guy, Kyle McCord, who clearly was a high-ranked guy, if you send all pressure and he beats it, you're going to give up a lot. You can't zero blitz these dudes with all those weapons. You just can't.
Yeah.
I guess.
Man, you're bringing up good points. You're bringing up some different angles to this that haven't come up yet. I like it.
Yeah, and the last thing I have before I get out of here, I'm trying to run through as quickly as possible. Well, 2 more things real quick. But do you, in this game, try to bludgeon Audric Estime 25 carries, 30 carries? Or do you use the 5-headed monster to really change up what Ohio State's going to be trying to defend in the backfield?
Oh, man.
I'm old school. I want to see Estime do the baby bus and run over these guys with 25, 30
All
carries.
right,
But
let me blend
we
this.
don't really have to play like that anymore, guys.
Let me blend this to you. I like the idea, since he is the big power one, the one that's going to, run guys over and set that tone. I like leaning on that. However, I'm not saying not to have the other backs involved. I want to find a situation to get multiple of these backs out there at the same time. And you have that hammer of Estime. And then I like the idea of Love and JD Price and those guys being out there catching passes, and you don't know what they're going to do. And you find a soft spot in the zone and get it to them and they take off. Like, I think this is a game where Notre Dame's going to try and use some of those other running backs in the passing game to try and mess with Ohio State and keep some of their pressure at bay. And I want to see it. Notre Dame.
I like it.
Yeah, you got a bunch of guys back there that can stress the defense. The more of them I get on the field at once, the more I like. Have them wondering who's doing what and all this, man. I love that. And you got those guys are capable of making moves against Ohio State's defense in a way a lot of our players haven't been in the past. And I want to see it.
Yeah. And the very last point, and then I'm going, is so I'm at work right now. So I was in somebody's office installing some software on their computer, and the show came on. I'm listening to it in my earbud, and I'm thinking, hurry up and install, please, so I can go call the Always Irish show.
I'm telling you, Bruce, I love your loyalty, man. It cracked me up sometime in the summer. You were like, I stepped into this empty room. I had to give you a call, but I got to get back to work. Bruce, I love you for that, man. I do. Hey, I want you guys to have fun watching the game, and you and your family, man. I hope you guys are doing well.
Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate you, guys.
Have a good one. Keep holding it down for Notre Dame fans down in the South, Bruce. We don't have enough support down there. Oh, man. Let's keep breezing through it. 937. You're in Evan. What's going on? And then I got, what else? Another 937. I got 614-419 coming up. What's up, 937?
Hey, John, it's your least hated Buckeye fan. How are you doing?
I don't know, man. Did you see the short I put out last night of when I was mad at
yes,
you for being
I love
nice?
it.
Yeah, I figured. I'm like, it really does rub me the wrong way that this Ohio State guy I kind of like personally, but I can't be mad at you. You're just too damn nice. And I don't like it. Listen, man, I got a question for you. And I've been really getting into this content heavy this week. Like, I've been doing a lot of stuff. And what is the Ohio State fan feel in your opinion? All right. Like you, this is your world. This is your fan base, your media, your Twitter circle, whatever you're into, your social media threads. I want to know what the vibe is overall. Are most of you guys saying we're just going to blow Notre Dame out? On the Twitter spaces and the Notre Dame spaces I've seen, there's a lot of that of like, it's just little old big game Notre Dame. We're going to kill them. What's the reality here? Give it to me straight.
It's really odd. Most of the time, the fans are, ahead of the beat, so to speak, and where the fans are like, we should beat this team 65 to 14 or something. And I'm just talking a regular team in general. But this week, it kind of feels like the fans are less enthusiastic than the beat. The beat seems to be, and that was one of the guys you heard, they seem to be thinking that this is the Buckeye victory. And I think most fans are like, this is a 50-50 toss-up at best.
Well, but the problem, but all these things are not the same, man. Saying that you might think Ohio State is going to win the game is significantly different than they're going to blow Notre Dame off the field, and by in the third quarter, all the Notre Dame people are going to be leaving.
Right.
Like, I just don't see...
Right.
Bro, and that's not like a crazy fan. That's a guy who writes for a living doing this stuff. I just have not seen the evidence.
I know. I agree with you.
Where is the evidence that suggests that is going to be the likely outcome of this game? I have no idea where it came from, man. But like
I 100% agree with you.
It's just wild.
Yeah, I think most fans feel exactly how you feel. Like, hey, we need to see something like that before we believe it.
And the other thing is, how in the hell, who can put McCord over Hardman? Where's the body of work? The guy has almost no body of work. How are you doing that? Just looking at the weapons? That's the only way I can rationalize it, is back doing it where you're looking at the weapons he's throwing to. He has no body of work. Make it make
They're
sense.
doing that for clicks.
Make it make sense.
It doesn't make any sense. They're doing that for clicks. And I will say this, though. I think that if Notre Dame fans think that they have a running back advantage, I think it's a push.
Yeah, I would.
Ohio State's hardly used their first string running back, so I think it's a push.
You know what I'm going to say? I agree with you because both of these teams have multiple backs deep they could go to that all provide slightly different things still at a high level. And I love what both rooms do. I think that's a pretty even matchup as well. We're on the same page there. I think that's perfectly fair.
I think offensive line, just going through an offensive line is definitely, I think, in Notre Dame, just due to experience alone. I think that, however, I do think there is a little bit of an angle where I do think the middle of our offensive line is slightly better than your middle, but I think your tackles far outweigh the middle that I would definitely give the edge to Notre Dame. But it's gonna be one heck of a game. And I did some analysis where I was looking at numbers of last week and just trying to think if Ohio State, they scored 49 offensive points. So they had two. I know it was 63, but they had two defensive scores. So if you take, let's say Notre Dame's defense is half as good as that, so that knocks it down to basically 20 points. And let's say Notre Dame's offense is twice as good as Western Kentucky's, which they've scored in the 40s the last few games, and I think 50 2 weeks. But then that's 20-20. So I think it's just very, very. It's going to be a close game. And I think a couple of things that, Hartman, one thing that could work in his advantage and it could maybe work against him. It's going to be interesting to see, but his size, he is not the biggest guy. So I think sometimes when in a big rush, a little guy gets lost back there. And that happened to Alabama many times where they would lose the little guy who had some legs. And he scrambles out and makes a big throw that was kind of a busted play. And I think that favors Notre Dame, in my opinion, and that could be the difference in the game.
Interesting.
This could be a game too.
Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
I want to know this. Is there any validity to the human side of this? This is a new environment for McCord. I don't give a shit what any Ohio State people think of him or whatever. This is his first big test in this kind of an environment. And I feel like that is in college something that needs to be mentioned. Do you think he's just going to breeze right in there and none of the environment's going to matter? Like, I got to see him succeed in that environment before I'm just like, oh, he's going to be great. I got to see him first in this hostile environment. Isn't that fair?
Yes, I agree with that. I will say this, traditionally speaking, in the last 20 years, from what I've seen from the Buckeyes, is that when they play these big marquee games, they always play worse at home. And I don't know why. Maybe there's a lot of pressure when you're playing in front of your guys and there's less pressure when you're on the road. And I want to see it from McCord, but historically looking at Ohio State, they've always played better on the road. And you can even see that last year when we went down, we were playing that game in Georgia and Atlanta, and Ohio State played way better on the road than they did in the shoe against Michigan the week before. I think sometimes there's a pressure of playing in the horseshoe.
That makes sense. But that pressure is different than the actual practical of noise and just a lot going on. I'm just saying he might be cool as the other side of the pillow. But I'm looking at it as a question mark until I see it. So he may be fine. Right. I don't know, but we're going to find out.
I think it's a question mark.
Yeah.
I think it's a question mark, and it'll be interesting to see. I think there's a lot of question marks in this game because I don't think either team's played a really good, just a good team yet. So
does it not feel to you like
it's almost really interesting?
It's almost like a game one in a lot of ways for both teams because nobody seems sold on what they saw either team do against the lesser opponents, and now it's like that first litmus test. And it's going to be really interesting, man. I would like you to give me a call back Friday morning or Friday night, and we'll talk about it more. Does that sound good?
Right. I'll give you my final score on those nights, but I will say this. I don't feel cautious as we get farther along in the week. I feel more and more like Notre Dame should be the favorite just because of the quarterback. I do think defensively, though, I would take every position group that Ohio State has, but over Notre Dame. But there's not many position groups over there. But Notre Dame, I think, push that running back. They have the better O-line, and I think those two things they're like double in this type of a game.
Yeah,
so.
Interesting equation. All right, think about it for another day and call me back Friday, man. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Have a good one. Go Bucks.
Oh, yeah, you had to sneak that in, you jerk. Right after I said I liked you. 937, and then I got a 614-419-502, and that'll be it. What's going on, 937?
John, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you crystal clear, my friend. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Well, I had an original point. It was just kind of a temperature check more from you until this last Ohio State Buckeye fan called in and is gaslighting you in his hatred for Notre Dame. It's shrouded in nicety.
I know, man.
You think that our two potential first-round draft pick tackles have a slight edge over your offensive line? It's just a slight edge. A potential top 5 offensive tackle is just a tick above your garbage trash tackle. Okay, that's beside the point.
Hey, isn't that left tackle? Dude, that left tackle's not even homegrown and recruited. They had to go to the portal to get him. How in the hell does Ohio State end up without good tackles and they have to go to the portal? Anyways, that's a side note, but go ahead.
Also, the nation's leading running back is a wash. It's a wash. What, because he was a 3-star coming out of high school? Oh, okay, so Travion Henderson was a 5-star. Who's better right now? Who's produced right now?
Yeah, they
Competition's equal.
They would argue that their 2 and 3s. They would argue that their 2 and 3 are going to be better than our top 3 or 4 or whatever. That would probably be the argument. They would also argue that Henderson's been banged up last year and all that. Now he's healthy. It's a different thing. That's the angle they'll go probably.
And then, and this goes both ways between Ohio State and Notre Dame's fandom. They lean on, last year. Well, I don't know. Is there a returning Heisman front runner under center at Ohio State this year?
That's what I'm being told.
Is Kyle McCord?
I don't know how. Dude, I don't know how, but they're speaking to me as if McCord is the one with 5 years of body of work and all this evidence and 120 touchdowns on his ledger. They're the ones speaking to me as if he's established. I don't understand where it's come from, but it came. And I don't get that.
And then he called Sam Hartman this little guy back there. This little guy. He's not that small, dude. Come on. This guy is in top 10 in all-time categories in college football, dude. He didn't play against Vanderbilt every week, dude. He played Clemson. He played big-time fucking college football. Sorry, I dropped it.
That's all right, man. I don't care. I don't care. We're making an exception of it for this moment. Just because I hear you getting worked up, and that's what this show's about. Make an exception. It's fine, buddy. You're good.
I mean, what are we talking about here, dude?
Go off. Let it rip. Cook. Go.
This is my transition right here. Is all throughout the week. I started off very positive on Monday. Started off very positive. And then I start watching all these YouTube channels, watching you, going on all these Ohio State Buckeye channels, and they're bringing up Marvin Harrison. They're bringing up Mbeka Buka. They're bringing up Travion Henderson, the defensive line. I get it. They are multi-talented. No doubt about it. This isn't Brian Kelly's Notre Dame. This isn't sit in the stands. Wait for something bad to happen. It's not. It's not that fucking team.
Different this time.
It's a different program, dude.
It all feels different, man. It does everything. It's everything. It's the practical. It's the emotional. It's the vibes. It's the coach. It's the quarterback.
We got
It's
DJs
all of it.
in the stadium cutting it up on ones and twos now. We're going to have a light show. This is going to be different.
Man, it got me too. Saturday, I was sitting there and I'm like, where's that music coming from? They literally do have a DJ down there mixing it during the 9-minute Peacock timeout. Yeah, it was hilarious. Buddy, you're on one this morning and I'm here for it. I got to tell you.
Dude,
I'm here for it.
T-minus 2 days till I head to South Bend. I'll be in the stadium. I don't know what state I'm going to be in. Whether I make it, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude, you're on one and I am here for it. Usually I'm the one who's doing all this. It's nice to have somebody else on here doing all the yelling and getting excited. It's beautiful.
You know, I appreciate the channel, dude. I'll let you go. Sorry about the F-bombs, everybody. My bad.
You know what, man?
I'm Italian. What can I say?
On this one, we're going to give you a little pass on this one. I try and keep it family friendly, but for Iowa State week, I should expect some of that. No big deal, man. Hey, thank you for your passion. Give me a call back Friday night. If you're around Friday morning, we'll go live. Give me a call, okay?
Have a good one,
Have
guys.
a good one, man. I'm telling you, I am the type of guy that likes. I am the type of guy that likes that kind of energy, given the way that I deliver my information. Yeah, is this John's spirit animal on the call? I'm telling you, I feel like I'm soul brothers with this man. There's a lot of overlap there. Oh, look at this. Ooh, we're starting to get the Ohio State people in here. This is what it's all for. That Party City Neon Light Show won't score touchdowns for you. Bucks by 1,000,000. Woo, baby. Wow. Look at this. 42-14. You know what that is, Mello? Big game Brian Kelly. That's my first thought. When I see that 42-14, my first thought is big game Brian Kelly. There you go. That's about what it would be. Not a blowout in the first half. Notre Dame hangs around, and then it gets worse and worse. You get ran down, ends up 42-14. I've seen that game 20 times from Swamp Thing, okay? That's what that would be as a Notre Dame score. Oh, man. 614. Give me some more. What's going on?
What's up? How you doing, John?
Oh, Jesus. Here we go again. Is there a limit to how many Ohio State people I got to have on this line this week?
I'm not.
I know
I'm
that
not,
damn
I'm
voice.
not in Ohio State. I'm a Notre Dame grad.
Oh,
I live in Columbus. Notre Dame grad, baby.
You got
I'd
me.
also say
You got me because I see that Columbus on here. I see that Columbus. I'm on alert for this. I see that Columbus
John,
on your area code.
I know. I'm in the heart of it. And not only am I a Notre Dame grad living in Columbus, I believe I'm a top 100 amateur Irish analyst. I truly believe that.
Wow. Wow, that's great. Now, where are you basing those qualifications on? Give me the details. Break it down for me.
Well, I guess that's just my gut feeling. But let's talk game. I had a couple of things I wanted to bring up. Okay, I want to talk game, but first I just want to start with the environment, what I'm hearing in Columbus, what I'm seeing in Columbus.
Yeah. And
how I think that's going to play out. So this is a night game. And I think what a lot of people are kind of passing over in the national media, night games are different from day games. There's all types of different experience on both sides of the ball for both teams. But in this type of environment, what position groups do you want to have an edge? O-line, quarterback, defense. And I think Notre Dame has the edge in all three.
Interesting. Do you quarterback? I agree with. O-line, I got to see more. I'm not sold on Notre Dame's O-line. They have failed me in these big games repeatedly for 20 years. I hear about O-line you, and then we get into the biggest games, run it for 52 yards, and we don't do diddly poo. I have seen that play out 25 times in the last 20 years. And until Notre Dame actually puts together a real offensive line performance that's good against one of these teams, it's a question mark to me. I'm not believing in that part of Notre Dame till I see it happen. Sorry, I can't do it. I've been burned too many times. Prove it to me.
That's fair. I think they're going to have a huge game. The other thing that I wanted to touch on quickly, there's going to be red in the stadium. I don't know what the percentage is going to be. Is it 30% red? Is it 10% red?
Yeah.
Regardless, everyone should keep calling it red, not scarlet, because that's one of the things that hilariously triggers the Buckeyes, in addition to not saying the Ohio State University, calling their colors red. So I don't know what the number's going to be. It doesn't really matter. I was at the Bush Push game. That was the most hostile environment in Notre Dame's favor.
I'm telling you, man.
If you look at Zivkowski,
I've been chasing it ever since. I've been chasing it ever since that vibe. I have been chasing the eye of being in that stadium during Zibby's return and Brady's score and all that. I've been chasing it ever since. And I believe this will be the closest to it we've had since. I truly mean that. The buildup. It's just, I feel it. I know what I'm feeling. I know Notre Dame vibes better than I know myself. This is building into one of those moments. It's just a matter of if Notre Dame can get a different result this time once the actual game gets going.
I totally agree. And I just think everyone should not worry about the red, because there's something visually where red stands out. We all know that. There's going to be some red. It's still going to be extremely hostile for Ohio State.
Yeah.
That's where I think everyone talking about the quarterback putting up numbers against Western Kentucky last week. This is going to be completely different for this kid. Maybe he's an all-world beater, 5-star. I haven't seen it. He's going to have to prove it. The running backs, like the last couple guys said, are a wash. It's going to be interesting. Last thing I just wanted to say quickly is I think there's a ton of pressure on Ryan Day that people are not acknowledging, because that's been the offseason narrative here in Columbus about Michigan. I mean, forget about Michigan if they lose to Notre Dame and Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
So he's got a ton of pressure on him. I don't know how that plays out, maybe late game decision making, but it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it really is, man. Notre Dame truly has a wonderful opportunity in front of them. And I think they're positioned to have a real chance to pull this off and change a lot of things. This is going to be special, man. Weeks and games and opportunities like this don't come around a lot. And here we are. And this is going to be something, man. We'll have to see what it turns into. Any other thoughts on the way out? Thanks for the call. Sorry I jumped. Hey, I'm sorry I jumped your bones, but I got to be on alert this week. I got a Columbus, Ohio numbers out the wazoo. I'm on a high alert, bro.
I love it. Keep the guard up.
Yeah,
On the way out, I'll be driving up. I'll drive up Saturday morning. I'm going to be sitting amidst a wave of red in the stadium, but I'll be one of those specks of green in the Ohio State section.
At least you're in there. Yeah, at least you'll be there, man. Be loud, be proud. Don't let anybody tell you to sit down, okay?
Oh, you already know.
For sure, man. Hey, thank you for the call. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Hold it down for us in Columbus there. I got a little over anxious there. 419, give me the line, and then 502-615. That's going to be it. 419, what's up?
How you doing, John? First time caller.
Oh man, I love getting first time callers to add to the mix. So I see your phone number is at Ohio. Are you also a Notre Dame guy stuck in Ohio, or what's your dynamic then? Explain it to me.
I am a Notre Dame fan stuck here in Cleveland, Ohio. And John, let me tell you, this fan base, these Ohio State fans, are the most delusional in all of college football. I have heard nothing but just trash talk all week.
Wow.
And I cannot wait until Saturday when we estimate has a 200-yard rushing game and you just run the ball down there.
Ooh, baby. So there, you're telling, no, are you listening to like local sports talk radio or podcasts, or just interacting with fans or people at work? Like, their vibe is really, it seems to be, they're going to kick the crap out of us and they don't even think it's going to be close. Is that seriously the vibe they're giving off?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, it's a little bit of everything. It's mostly sports talk radio and interactions among friends. I'm the only Notre Dame fan in my friends group, so they've really, just been heckling me every day since, the season started. But I think we're due. And I keep catching myself having Brian Kelly syndrome, thinking that we're going to blow this, but I feel good about this team. And I think this is our statement game, where we take this program and move it into that sector of the elite of the elite.
Yeah. And I wrote one of my USA Today articles really late last night. I couldn't sleep because I'm thinking about the game. I figured I'd get out of bed and write an article while my mind's moving. And that was kind of the theme of it is this is bigger than just one game on this year's record, win or loss, and we keep it moving. If Notre Dame was able to emerge victorious, no matter what it looks like, no matter by how much, it would signify to start getting that you are justified to start getting mention of moving out of very, very good and into the bottom of elite. This is the start of that path, but only if Notre Dame wins. If you don't, then it means you're not there yet, and there's still a lot of work and development to do. The stakes couldn't be higher in every single way, man.
Yeah, I agree. I think we have more in comparison to Ohio State. We have more to lose than they do. I think their main focus will always be Michigan, and I hope Michigan just kicks them again.
And you know what else, man?
In reality,
justifiably so, by the way. Like, Ohio State doesn't play us every year. Michigan should be their primary focus without fail, even this year.
Yep.
They have both of us on the schedule. It's more important for them to be Michigan. I agree with that. I'm totally on with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just funny how hostile they are in regards to Notre Dame. It's this anti-Notre Dame sentiment. Any player that we get from Ohio, it's always a scoff that, they weren't good enough for Ohio State, so they go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And I just really think this year we'll take it to them.
Yeah, man, it's a big opportunity. And you know what else? It still rubs me the wrong way. If you're an Ohio State fan and you've been getting worked over by Michigan and you don't even own your own situation in the Big Ten at all, and it's been embarrassing, I genuinely expected them to be a little more tame, knowing they can't even run their mouths to us as the king of the Big Ten and all this stuff. They don't even have that. So I thought maybe they'd be more reasonable because they have a lot to prove now and they're not sitting at the top, but it doesn't seem to matter. They are getting chirpy and they're running their mouths, man.
John, it's an illness. They don't think clearly like that. So it'll always be Ohio State.
Yeah.
But appreciate you taking the call.
No problem, man. I appreciate it. Hold firm there in Ohio, okay? And feel free to give me a call later in the week, Friday morning, and then the Friday night pregame party, okay, man? Thanks for calling. Love a first timer.
Sounds good, John.
Take care, man.
Yep. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, man, what a nice guy. I like getting first-time callers. 615, make it come alive. What's going down?
John, how are you, man?
Oh, man, I'm running on my adrenaline is pumping already, man. These are the weeks we wait for all year, and it's finally here, and the buildup is fantastic, and I just love it. I love it.
Well, it's my second time calling. I listen to the show all the time. It's a pleasure to have the content because I live here outside of Nashville in the middle of SEC country. But, John, I've got good news. I'm hoping Saturday I can finally drop the whiskey bottle like a drunk, letting go. I've had BFS for years, and Brian Kelly added to it. What's BFS? It's battered fan syndrome.
Yeah.
And I think Saturday night, we're going to be over it. I think Notre Dame is going to win by 10. That's my prediction.
Man, that'd be
what do you
beautiful.
think?
Man, I would love that. I could see paths to that being reality if Notre Dame takes care of business. But I'm very intrigued by your first thing you said. It would almost be like a program palate cleanser to get this win and kind of be able to shut off all of the memes and all the jokes about us and the big game failures and all that and draw a line and make a separation there where it's like, it's over. That is over. This modern Notre Dame is being built differently. We aren't that anymore. We're never going to be that again. And things are different from Notre Dame from now on. Like, it's way more than just one game for Notre Dame. There is a lot perceptually on the line here. And drawing that line in the sand and saying that was the old Notre Dame, we're doing it different. That's a big deal. That's a big deal to me.
You're right. It would be a big hurdle for a middle block for the team, the university, the fans. And I compare it to a little bit. I'm not sure if you saw the Tennessee Vols play the Florida Gators, but they just can't. They cannot play down there in Florida. They've lost for like the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And you sit there and you're like, my God, this, I've heard you say it. I've heard other analysts say it. If this isn't the year, then when is it? It's got to be.
Yep. And dude, that's the way I'm looking at this is I always talk about vibes, man. I always talk about feeling Notre Dame, not just thinking my way through it, but feeling it. And whenever Notre Dame has it going, like everything really has to all be lining up right for Notre Dame. And I'm just telling you, the dynamics are right for once entering one of these games. The dynamics are right for Notre Dame. Quarterback you love, coach you love, recruiting on the uptrend. Home game at night with a bunch of excitement and the green jerseys and the LED lights or whatever you're going to do. DJ Jazzy Jeff down there with the 1s and 2s. Whatever we're doing, it all feels good this year.
You got it. And I think Notre Dame's going to bring it. I think the fan base is going to bring it. They're going to bring home a victory. Hey, John, Friday night, what time do you start the show?
Friday night, I start at 8 Central, and I have an anticipation that this one's going to go long. Usually it's like 2.5 hours. I got a damn feeling the phone lines are going to be jacked. People are going to be drinking a little bit, and they're going to want to spout off. So I am freeing myself up Friday night. We can go as late as we need to, baby. We're having a pregame anxiety party. Pre-game anxiety party is what we're having.
Let me tell you, I had a wild dream the other night. Wild Notre Dame dream.
Oh, boy. Give it to me.
I was in the stadium, the Ohio State game, and something happened with you there. I can't tell you tonight. I can't tell you today. I'm going to call in Friday night and tell Johnny everything I've heard and seen.
Oh, I like it.
With Pat there.
Yeah.
I'm going to be looking at both you guys on the split screen, and it's going to be epic, John. It's going to be epic when I tell you about this dream.
All right. I get it. You got to call back now because now I am beyond interested. So you got to hit me back Friday night, all right? Hit me up, and I want to know what I did in this dream. I'm halfway afraid to know, but I'm very intrigued.
I'd pay. It's out. I just can't wait to see Pat's face.
Oh, boy.
I cannot wait to see Pat's face.
This should be great. All right. You got to call back now, and I'm going to remember your number and pull you up when you do because now I want to know. Thank you, man. Have a good one.
All right, brother.
Call me.
A great couple days here. Go Irish.
Go Irish, man. Give me that call back. I want to know. I'm telling you guys. The energy is different around this one. It is beautiful. I feel like I'm powered by like adrenaline or something this week. Like everything I do is just extra this week. Every little thing I do, if I'm walking, I got an extra pep in my step. If I'm mad, I'm extra mad. Everything is extra, man. Everything is extra. This game is extra. You guys, I love this energy. I have been thinking about what this week on this show was going to be like for like a year. You guys delivered, man. All of the chats, all of the donations, all of the callers. I'm telling you, I love the vibe of this show when the calls go quick. No offense to any individual, caller or whatever. It's just a more engaging show when we're moving and different thoughts are coming through. But we need a full bank of calls like we had today. It was beautiful. The Ohio State people here, I mean, I don't know what to tell you, man. They're going to run their mouth and they're trying to convince themselves it's going to be a blowout. If they prove it, then I'm going to have to come on here and go, guess what? They were right. I have no problem doing that. If they come in there and beat the hell out of us or wear us down with the run game and we're not tough enough again, you all know nobody's going to be more willing to hammer Notre Dame than me. I do not cover for Notre Dame. When they deserve it, I nail them. And when they deserve credit, I give them credit. Everybody, all Notre Dame fans can do is dream. Yeah, tell me about it. Only my old life. Everybody who donated, just ND Gal, DW, Cheap Brody, Paul Conley with multiple $5 hours, Chris Totten, Jacob Brown, BVG coach, Quinn Kibler did me wrong with the Miami turnover chain edit. Mike, MJH Irish, Dino DeBambino, Willie B. Artigan, personal problem, can't answer that. B1 Rotate, Michael, and Paul again. You guys are great. So here's what we got. I got a video I'm going to post later tonight. There may or may not be a little guest appearance of myself on some other Notre Dame programming later tonight. I don't know if any of you have a little routine and who you watch or whatever. You may pick up on it. Johnny may or may not be making a surprise landing on another program tonight, and that should be interesting. But everybody, this is beautiful. So I love the energy this week, and it's just going to ramp up. We'll be back Friday morning. We'll be back Friday night. I have been asked to not give away all the details on where I may or may not be. We're trying to make some things maybe a surprise. I don't know. But just pay attention to some live shows tonight in the Notre Dame space, okay? Everybody, thank you for joining. This is the energy that is why I do this show. Love you guys. Have a good one.